Hello, and welcome to the Grassroots Warrior on the Grassroots Warrior Network. And today we have with us Flat Earth Dave. And we're going to do some discussions into Flat Earth and the thoughts and theories around it. And, as we always say here, take what you want, leave the rest. We want to give you some different thoughts and keep your mind open because, with an open mind, we may see things differently. And I've learned to question everything now and use my own discernment. So that's why we have Dave on today. And Dave, I'd like to welcome you to the channel and look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thanks, Denise. I appreciate you having me. And, when you say we need to have an open mind about everything, usually people are like, yeah, but flat Earth is a step too far. Come on. We all know the Earth is a globe. And I was that person. When people suggested flat Earth to me, I banned them from my social media because they're too stupid to listen to me or comment. So I refuse to look. And it's only when you take the time and look that you actually realize how absolutely ridiculous the globe is. So I just want to start out for anyone that's slightly triggered, looking to like, oh, I'm turning this off, flat Earth, how stupid. I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. And I also say, don't believe anything I say. Go verify the things that I'm going to show you that you can go and verify, unlike stuff that NASA says that you can't verify. So
Got you.
that's my start.
So, yeah, great start. Great start. And I agree, a lot of people are already going to tune out immediately. So give us some basics on how we can believe this theory. What brought it into realness for you?
Well, the thing is, it's not about believing. Like, I know the Earth is flat. I know it's not a ball. People that believe in the globe, they're like, "Oh, of course it's a globe," because Bill Nye, the science guy that with a bow tie, told me, and because boats go over the horizon, and because I could drink water on an airplane, and because the toilet spins backwards in Australia. All of this stuff is nonsense. All of the stuff is pre-programmed, right? Eclipses would be really weird. They don't work on a flat Earth. Actually, eclipses prove the Earth is flat. All right, it's seasons, and seasons actually prove the Earth is flat once you understand. But we were brainwashed and forcefully brainwashed before we had rational. Before we were able to rationalize things. I mean, kids in kindergarten and preschool, before they go to school, they're watching Sesame Street. Who's on Sesame Street? And Walt Disney. You got astronauts on there. You got all sorts of stuff programming you for a lifelong of heliocentric slavery, I call it. So, when people think about flat Earth, they're like, well, what, all the other planets flat? We the only flat planet? This is two false models. This is a false flat Earth model mixed in with the false heliocentric model. So you have two things that you're comparing, saying this is your false binary. Okay. And when the reality is none of this is true. None of this. So once you got to, what's the saying? It's easy to fool somebody, but it's harder to convince them they've been fooled. And that is the truth, especially when your entire life is based around your core belief, right? I love space movies. I love all the Star Wars and Star Trek. I grew up on Star Trek. It was the best, right? And when someone tells you all of that is scientifically impossible and ridiculous, and that's not where we live, it's hard for people's egos to let go. And it's only when you take the time to try to disprove flat Earth. That's what I did. I tried to disprove it with the foregone conclusion: flat Earth is stupid. The globe is real. I'm going to prove the globe and disprove flat Earth. That's how you become a flat earther. Okay. Because when you take a hard, serious look, take the time and effort, put the energy in and the time, I said time already. That's when you start looking and start seeing how ridiculous the heliocentric model is.
So,
Question?
what were some of the first things that you started finding as you tried to debunk the myth that the Earth was flat?
So the first thing that when I when I started looking, a friend convinced me to watch a couple of videos, YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, where do you get your information on YouTube, Dave? And the truth is, YouTube is like the world. It's like life. It's like everything. It's filled with all sorts of stuff. There's good people, there's bad people, there's good information, there's bad information. There's all sorts of stuff, and it's up to you to discern what you're looking at. YouTube is just a place that people upload things, and you can upload anything there. Well, not anymore. You can't upload a lot of truth there anymore. So yeah, so excuse me, losing my voice. So the thing that one of the things that got me was we could see too far, right? And they were showing me boats over that would disappear over the horizon, and that they could zoom them back in. So I went out and I bought a P900 Nikon P900. It was just came out at that time, and it's a super zoom camera. And I went down to the beach and I sat down. And I said, okay, and I zoomed in on a buoy that was 11 miles away, just under 10, just over 10 miles. So at 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. I shouldn't be able to see the buoy. There it was. You know, I could zoom in on people over in Long Island and see people sitting on the beach. Wait a minute, that beach should not be visible, right? but we all saw the video of when in school of the ship with the three masts going over the horizon. If you go back and actually find that video, the one that they actually showed us in school, it's so bad. There's high waves. There's like 5-foot waves. So waves will block your actual horizon. When I say horizon, I mean the farthest point you can see on a flat surface. If there's waves in the way in front of it, it's going to block that horizontal eye zone, I call it. And then every time they cut the video showing the ship lower and lower, the camera's lower. Well, as you get lower, you can't see far, right? So it's a very deceptive video. But this is it right here. So this isn't the video, but we're zooming in. There's no boat here, but as we're zooming in, we're increasing the angular size. And as we increase the angular size, look, there's a boat. It's not hidden behind curvature. It's a boat that's just over the horizon. So here's the boat. And as we zoom out, you're going to watch that the boat's going to disappear from the bottom up because of these undulations in the water. Can my finger hide this boat? Not really, right? But if my finger was a wave in the foreground, right? Now it could start hiding the boat.
Get that.
Look at that. And so that boat's going to disappear. And without without the optics to be able to zoom in and bring it back, you can claim it went over the curve when the fact is it's still there. You just can't see it. It's the way our eyes work, right? So if we lived on a ball, there's a certain amount of curvature that should be there. Physical curvature. Here's a ball. My mouth is behind the physical curvature. Zooming in won't bring it back in, okay? Because it's a physical curvature, but we don't have a physical horizon when looking out over calm water. Here's a camera. It's a foot off the ground, right? This platform is 9.4 miles away. It doesn't seem that far, but according to Globe Math, there should be 59 feet of curvature from that height at that distance. Okay. So the horizon, actually, there's 59 feet of curvature at 9.4 miles. But when you're 1 foot off the surface of the water, under the best conditions, the horizon should be 1.2 miles away. Okay, let's round up, call it 2 miles away, right? Never anything would ever make it farther if we lived on a ball. It would only, like waves, fog, would only make it closer, right? Not only can we see the horizon, I mean the rig, we can see the surface of the water for dozens of miles beyond it, right? If you watch the video of this zooming in and out, it's amazing. You can see the surface of the water. So the only answer that the globe has for that is that it's refracting up and stopping at eye level. So the part of the water that's 100 feet below the curve, it refracts up 100 feet. Then a little closer, it only refracts up 90 feet. And a little closer, it refracts up less. And then the water in front of this is refracting, and it's just all refracting, conspiring to convince you that the Earth is flat when it's really a globe. Or maybe it's just flat. Okay, I don't think that our world conspires to fool you. Right here's I call this the wave front edge. So this, you can't even see the back of this boat. It's hidden because of this wave here. But we can still see the surface of the water for miles and miles and miles. Right, and you can't see the water. There's more water beyond here. It's just you can't see it because of the angular view you have it, because of the water conditions, because of the air conditions, right? But when I zoom out of this picture, you can't see the water beyond the boat. It literally looks like the boat is on the horizon and the bottom part of the boat is missing. And that's just how our eyes work. Okay. So just another one. People love using the Space Needle in Seattle, right? So this thing's up pretty darn high. But as we zoom out, all of these buildings, all of this land, and all of this is just going to disappear. Okay, I'm not zooming over a curve. I'm just zooming out, and you can't see it anymore. And they'll claim that's because it's over the curve, right? That's not how it works. This is how our eyes work, right? Here's a boat out on the horizon, and we zoom out, right? We can see that there's more water beyond that boat, but that boat's just going to disappear into the horizon. Into the horizon. It's gone. You can claim it's over the curve, but it's not over a curve, right? So remember, at a distance, there is a set amount of curvature on a globe. Now, when you're down at sea level, at ground level, the air is the thickest, and it's hard to see far because the air just gets so thick and it blocks your view. Over a certain amount of distance, it becomes opaque. Like that image behind you, you can't see the mountains in the distance because the air is kind of soupy, right? But when you're up high, the air is thin and clear. Now, here's a mountain. I forget the exact mountain, but we have a video that explains exactly where it is. And we're up high, but we can see these mountaintops over here. Now, if it was only one mountaintop, you could say, well, that's not a mountaintop. That's a cloud. Just happens to be the same shape and in the same position as that mountaintop should be. But it's not only that mountaintop that we see. We see a whole bunch of them. Seven of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mountaintops, right? And they're all about 700 plus miles away. At that distance, the tops of those mountains should be over 40 miles below the physical ball curve. 40 miles. Now, people say, well, I can't see the bottom of that mountain. You can't see the bottom because again, you're looking through the thickest part of the atmosphere. You're looking at hills and valleys, and everything gets compressed. Okay. But we can see most of the mountain and the tops. The tops should be 40 miles below the curve. They're not. You know what mainstream science says about this? Nothing. They won't even address it. They can't because there is no excuse other than magical refraction that makes those things pop up 40 miles and sit there at the horizon and be perfectly visibly clear and not wavy mirages. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is my whole presentation right here. We can see this. Earth is flat, period. If it's not flat, the Earth is a couple thousand times bigger than they tell us. Okay. Which puts a whole bunch of other problems into the fact that, I mean, basically you change the size of the earth, the distance of the sun, the distance of the moon, the size of any of them, everything changes in every other relationship with every other celestial body that they talk about. So that's what got me. That was your question. The we can see too far. And then from there, it just goes downhill. I mean, it's amazing. It's from NASA faking everything to all of the other proofs that there are, and the fact that YouTube is hiding flat Earth. They don't want you to see flat Earth.
So for many, many years, I have doubted the globe and doubted it being round. And this was interesting. We were out on the Truth Tour going around the country, and Jason Q was with us, which I'm sure you know Jason.
I've done a show with him,
yeah. We went into Hobby Lobby, and he went into Hobby Lobby to grab some stuff to sign for raffles and all. And when he comes back out, he brings a globe.
In the bottom.
Well, on the globe, it says, not for educational purposes.
For decorative purposes only, not for educational purposes. Yeah. You know why they do that? Because if, let's say somebody says, hey, you know what, I'm in Brazil, I want to go over to Africa, and I'm going to take this globe to navigate with, and what's going to happen is they're going to die. They're going to die out in the ocean because they're not anywhere where they think they are, and then they sue the globe company. Okay, so they have to tell you that it's for decorative purposes only. The flat Earth map, which is, now we don't have a perfect map, but I think it's pretty darn good. Right? This is my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. I'll put on the time lapse. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. And so I can call my friend over here in Africa and say, what time is it? And he's like, oh, it's noon. Where's the sun? It's directly above me. Right? And then when the sun's over here, I can call my friend in Australia and say, hey, what time is it? Where's the sun? He's like, it's noon. It's directly above me, or, in line, depending on where it is between the two tropics. But this map is actually the map that's used for navigation, right? This map is, airplanes don't bring globes into their cockpit, they have the Gleason's map, and that map is the one that's used for navigation.
And what is a Gleason's map?
So the Gleason's map was in all schools and libraries and encyclopedias. And it's this map right here. This is known as the Flat Earth map. Okay. And it showed, here's Australia and America and South America. And this is the map of our world. This is the one that's actually used for navigations, right? For navigation. Here's an old one, an old version. This is the air map of the world, 1945. It's used for travel, for war strategy, right? People are like, well, if the Earth is flat, how did Japan attack Hawaii, right? Because they look at a spread out Mercator map, when in reality, Japan's right here and Hawaii is right here. That's how that's there. It's right there. It's right there. Flight routes is what absolutely crushes the globe. Flight routes are amazing, right? But here, this is an interesting picture. This is the TSA in the Texas airport. I think it's Texas Airport, International Airport. What do we got here? We got a flat Earth map, and what are they guarding? They're guarding the perimeter, the ice wall. Yeah. They're guarding Antarctica. It's symbology. Okay, you got to go. So about the Antarctic Treaty, right?
Well, share it with others. I've heard about it.
Yeah. So the Antarctica is off limits virtually and physically. Wait a minute. There's 1,000 companies that I can go to Antarctica, and go there, and that's not true. There's 100 companies that'll take you to Antarctica, and they're all owned by the same Antarctic Commission. It's all a bunch of shell companies that'll charge you a fortune and only let you go to this little island called Deception Island, which is next to Rothschild Island, and they'll show you some ice, they'll show you some penguins, and they'll never let you explore the outer lands. Okay, you go from Santiago over to this little island right here. Okay, and you're not allowed to explore what's beyond here. What's out there, right? What's out there? So the Antarctic Treaty was formed in 1959 or 1959. Admiral Byrd went out there and said there's more land bigger than the United States, filled with resources that filled with all types of resources, energy resources, and all of a sudden every country in the world says, okay, we can't go there. Nobody go there. Treaties in place. Can't even question the treaty until 2041, right? All the countries in the world, we all hate each other. We're all fighting over everything. But there's two things that they agree upon. Two things that all the countries unanimously agree upon. Everyone must get the jibby jab, and everybody can't go to Antarctica or the North Pole. Sounds like they're all working together on some big plan, right? Some sort of control plan. Antarctic Treaty, longest standing treaty in history. And it's all because we have to protect the ice and the penguins. Take down the Amazon, the lungs of our world, no problem. Kill people everywhere, but don't disturb the penguins or the ice. Okay? Please.
Right.
Please.
Come on now.
Yeah, come on, people. Come on.
Wow. So they put this treaty in place to protect what's back there. Now, what do we believe is on the other side of that for those who have never heard any of this?
Yeah,
what is back there that they are protecting? What is the behind the ice wall? What do you believe is the reason they will not let us back there?
Well, let me show it this way. So here is a ship tracking website. You can track all cargo ships all across the world. You click on any one of these dots, it'll tell you where it's going, who the captain is, all days at sea. And we found a ship here. Okay. Whoa. This is Antarctica. It's 730 miles from the nearest bay. How does a ship get 730 miles away? Right? Not only is it 730 miles away, according to Google, it's 1.9 miles above sea level. How did it get there? Here's another one, right? 905 miles away, a little zoomed out. Okay. 905 miles, 2.37 miles above sea level. So this is impossible. Okay. So what's going on there? All right. So here's my thoughts. Here is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple, published in Hawaii in a newspaper in 1914, I think, something like that, 1918. And it shows all of these continents out here. Well, on the flat Earth, this ring here would be the shoreline of Antarctica. Okay. The shoreline that contains our water, large bodies of water at rest lie flat. They need containment. A pond needs containment. A lake needs containment. The oceans of the world need containment. They need land that is higher than the water to contain it. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Okay. So one of those ships, we clicked on it and it said it's from the nation of Kiribati. Ever hear of them?
Barely.
Okay. So they're a little sandbar, got a pin on it, right out here. China gave them $10 billion recently. America gave them a similar amount not too long ago. And they say it's a very, very important trade route for us. Okay. Well, why do we need to stop there for a trade route? Right. And just real quick on the island, they had the Captain Cook Hotel. Captain Cook tried to circumnavigate Antarctica, which is only 10 to 13,000 miles around. And it took him 3.5 years. It went over 68,000 miles. Well, that's wider than the equator. The equator is only 25,000. How do you go 68,000 unless the earth is flat and he's going all the way around the outside? Okay. So that's strike two for Kiribati. Right. And then this is we're looking at the ships currently at Kiribati and we're clicking on them, and all of their destinations were either one of two things: unknown destination, weird, or Christmas Island. Christmas Island. Okay. Christmas, if you look into the symbology of Christmas and Satan, Santa, right, and all of that stuff. So weird stuff is going on here. Okay. Weird stuff is going on there. Right. And then the position where Kiribati is with the international time zone date line, it's the weirdest thing ever. You know, all of the lines of the time zones on a ball should be equal, 24 lines from north to south, dividing the earth up into all the different time zones as it spins. But there's this weird little time zone here that crosses 3.5 time zones. This is a time zone, and Kiribati's right there. That's weird. What does this mean? I don't know. It's just weird. Okay. So what is going on in Kiribati? What is beyond the shoreline of Antarctica? And I contend that maybe it is an important trade route out to the outer lands, to other civilizations, to extra territory where the extraterrestrials could live. Right. So maybe they are trading computer chips, weapons, tuna fish, children. I don't know. We want the right to go explore. Maybe this is where all the missing children go every year. All the, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? But here's the thing. How would you know? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know at all. Okay. And then the other thing about Antarctica is it's off limits physically. The North Pole and the South Pole, physically and virtually. If you go on Google Earth, anyone can do this. Go to your Google Earth browser, not the app, because they fixed it. You can measure, take the measuring tool out, and you can measure the square area of any block of land, any block of water, except you can't measure Antarctica. Because when you do, it gives you that. Okay? It gives you that. It won't measure it. Now think about it. If Antarctica is the shoreline of our world and they wrap it around and bring it down and tell you it's a ball, this is kind of how it would measure. It's like, whoa, they haven't fixed that yet, right? And then if we jump to the North Pole and we do the same thing there, it's the only other place on the globe that you can't measure. Weird, right? Suspicious at best.
Very suspicious.
Right. Yes. So how do they do this? And this is something that I'll show, that I call it, how would you know? Right? How would you know? Where is it? So imagine this. Imagine we live in a world, and here's our map. Here's our map of the world. And we don't have radio communications. We don't have telephones. We don't have ships or airplanes. We just live here. We're living here in America. You're in America? You're in America. Yes. Okay. So we live here in America. This is all we know, right? And then the controllers of our world said, hey, you know what? Let's just draw a circle here. So we have just America, Mexico, and part of South America. And we're going to erase the rest of the world. And we're going to wrap it around a sphere. And the first day your kid's in school, this will be at the front of their class and say, This is where you live. This is all that there is. Africa, the UK, Australia, China doesn't exist. This is all that there is. There's nothing else. And you're not allowed to explore this white dot here. This is off limits because we have to protect the snow and the penguins. Okay. This is all that there is. And you're not allowed to go anywhere else. Okay. So let's expand that to a bigger thing. Now, this is just one idea. These are all little ponds, pieces of the plane. We'll call them planets. And we live in the center of this one right here. Okay. You see it? Here's America, South America, Australia, Africa, right? Here's our sun that circles around, right? And out here are other lands, other terra. They have their own sun system. And here's another one, right? And then we cut it out, we wrap it around a sphere, and we say, this is where you live. And you're not allowed to explore south, this white area. This is off limits. Okay. You know what this is? This is a prison with walls that you can't see. This is a prison for your mind. And this is where we think we live when the truth is our world is much more expansive. We want to know what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. We want to freely explore what's out there, but they won't let us. They've taken away airships, which would be a great way to do it. You know, the Hindenburg, that was a whole psyop, right? Nitrogen, hydrogen, too explosive, the hydrogen bomb. And they got rid of that. And then helium, guess who controls all the helium in the world and says there's a shortage? NASA. NASA.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. NASA with their helium rocket ships. Okay. If you don't know, and we're not going to have time to get into it, on my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, you can find all my stuff at flatearthdave.com. If you go to the web button, that was the one that looks like a spider web, and you scroll down, one of my favorite buttons, rockets are balloons, faking space blimps, balloon rockets. There's a series of videos here that YouTube won't let you see unless you know how to find them. And they're all here. This whole app bypasses it. Watch those. Watch those. You'll know we didn't go to the moon. Well, you'll know that we didn't go to space. You know, the fakery is overwhelming. But again, be careful because your ego is going to be like, no, I love the moon missions. I love this. I love that. Once you understand, though, that it's all a lie to control you, to make you feel insignificant, to make you think that you're a random speck in the middle of an infinite, godless, or deluded God universe, when the truth is we are at the center of creation. We are powerful, God-created beings that have free will and have great telepathic powers. Okay, but they don't want us to know any of that, and they've kind of taken it all away, limited our thoughts, and they've made us willingly give up all of these things because they're not allowed to take it from us. That's breaking free will. They're not allowed to do that. But if you willingly give away, hey, we told you, we showed you everything that's happening long before it happened. We told you the truth, but you didn't believe it because they always tell us the truth. It's called revelation of the method. Okay. They're always telling us the truth, right? On that famous day in 2001 in New York City, they told us what was happening for years, for decades before it happened. Okay. Decades. They told us again and again and again, and nobody noticed. And then they did it. Okay.
As they do over and over again through movie, through film, through TV.
Yeah.
It's constant, but we don't pay attention. We think it's all, imagination and exploration. So as you were doing all of that, one of the things that comes to mind to me in all of this is one thing I've always heard, and this will probably move into the filament portion of it, is that any gas has to be contained. So how do we contain oxygen if we were on an infinite round globe that continues out? So how is that oxygen contained? What is a filament? How does this all come together?
The only answer that the globalists have is gravity. Gravity holds, we call it gravity. It holds down the air. Okay. But to believe that is absolutely just a immature mind that's unable to think. And then, the globalists out there, the anti-flat earthers, that are either paid or possessed, they'll say, well, there's a gradient level, and as you get higher, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until there's nothing. Well, you need in a tank of gas, like think about your propane tank for your grill. It's half full. There's liquid gas on the bottom, and then there's thicker gas just above that liquid, and then it's thinner at the top. It's thinnest at the top, right? So you can get a big tank of any kind of gas, mixture of gas, and it'll all sort itself out. All right, it'll be thinnest at the top and thicker at the bottom, even where it becomes liquid, but it's contained. Put a hole anywhere in that, all of the gas is gone. Like if I tell people, hey, let's go get some gas for the grill, but don't use a tank, just bring me the gas. You can't do it. Okay. And to believe that gravity, now they say gravity's strongest near the ground, less when you're up higher. So the void vacuum, no pressure of space is unable to suck the air away from Earth, right? A vacuum so strong, a void so lacking of pressure that we can't even recreate it here on Earth, and it can't pull the Earth away. But I can take a straw here at ground level, put it in my mouth and inhale, just make a weak little low pressure in my mouth and lungs, and pull water and air up and away from gravity effortlessly. Why isn't the gravity holding it down? How can my little weak mouth and lungs, compared to the void of space, not do that, right? Imagine you have a magic box, not even a magical box. You have a box, a glass box sealed, and you sucked all the air out of it. Okay, so you have a vacuum box, and it has a little valve on it that you can open, a little trap door that you can open. You can open it when it's on the bottom or on the top or on the side or in any orientation you want. No matter where you open it, no matter what altitude you open it, no matter where, anywhere, it will immediately equalize, and all of the air will rush into it from the bottom, from the top. If you put it on the surface of water, and then you open up the valve, it will suck the water right up into there. That's how strong that void is. It'll pull the water up, not just gas, because it has to fill, nature abhors a void, a vacuum. So there is no explanation for it other than it has to work because we live on a globe. If you pre-assume a globe, then you could say gravity is working, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely dumb. Nowhere in science or in nature can you have high pressure next to low pressure without a physical barrier, period. Okay. Space is scientifically impossible. All of those other planets, all of those other ponds around our pond are scientifically possible. I'm not saying that they are there. We might just be in this one domed area, or maybe the dome is really big and there's other areas, and maybe it's all called Earth. And maybe the hijackers of our reality have locked us into this little section. They're like, hey, you know what? This is a soul trap. That's why they call it a soul lure system.
Very interesting. Yeah. So, and all of that makes total sense to me. I started following you several years ago, and looked at all of this information and your app and all the stuff you have. And so what I find the most interesting is where does the solar system play into this? And what is the purpose of that? Do you believe that that is part of the flat Earth, outside the barrier they don't want us to go? Is that what they're showing us? Or what exactly is the solar system in the flat Earth?
Well, I don't think there is a solar system. I think when we look up at the stars, and the wandering stars, which they call planets now, I think that those are all lights here within the Earth system. Here's the star Sirius. Okay. Is that a burning ball of gas? A scientifically impossible burning ball of gas, right? Think about this. Once upon a time, there was nothing. It exploded and became everything. Cool story. Okay. And then all of the rocks started sticking together, creating perfect balls, and they somehow got water and air. And then all of the other gases in this void started collapsing upon themselves to create these giant super gravitational fusion balls. And they left a void, a vacuum in between. How do you create a vacuum in space? How do you make space vacuum? It's scientifically impossible. Okay. And And so that's insane. And then if you actually do the math, and people have a hard time with big numbers because they weren't taught to deal with big numbers. You can't see the stars at a fraction of the distances that they tell you that they're at. Right. Here's the star Arcturus. You can see this with your naked eye. Is that a burning ball of gas 211 trillion miles away? Okay. 211 trillion miles, or is it right here? Okay. So what is this? They want you to believe in these planets and, and all of this stuff being held magically by gravity. The sun's gravity can hold Venus and Mercury and Earth and Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto and Neptune, right? It can hold on to all of these things perfectly, and the sky is the perfect clock. But all of the moons that are going around each of them, the sun ignores those. It ignores those. Okay. Because if this is the earth and the moon's coming around towards the sun, don't you think the sun would pull it away? And then as it comes around the other way, shouldn't it be tugging it, speeding it up, slowing it down at a minimum? No, none of that. Right. We have all these planetary alignments and none of their gravities affect each other. Right. None of the gravities affect each other. Absolute insanity. When you look at it, you know what the three body problem is? If you watch my stuff, you probably see me do it, but I'll do it real quick. In science, you can create in a supercomputer. You can say, all right, I got a sun and I got a planet, put them into orbit, and it'll figure out where it's going to do everywhere forever, right? It'll figure it out forever. But if you have three bodies or more, and you put them into a gravitational model, no computer in the world can figure out what it's going to do next. Okay. So when you turn the simulation on, right, they just go into chaos mode. No one can figure out what it's going to do next because all their gravities affect each other. Right. But we live in this system where you go out tonight, take a picture of the stars, and then put a note in your calendar to take the same picture next year, same day, same night. Every star will be in the exact same position, right? Makes absolutely no sense. All the stars are fixed. They're lights. They're here within the Earth system. I don't believe that humans can live off of this electrical plane that we live on. We are electrical beings. These lights in the sky are somehow connected to our lives. Now, I used to laugh at astrology. Like, how could the Mars being a retrograde affect me? It's a rock. It can't even affect our tides. 25, 50 trillion million miles away or whatever. No, it's here. It's right within our Earth system. Okay. It's something that does affect us. So all of it's tied together. I don't have all the answers for sure, but there's a lot of astrologers out there like Santos Bonacci, Mr. Astrotheology, his channel. He breaks it down really well. And there's all sorts of stuff. So there you go.
Wow, nice. So for the viewers out here who aren't familiar, what do we consider the filament with the flat earth? And where does that play?
The firmament?
Firmament, yes, that's what I meant.
So a lot of flat earthers believe that there is a dome above us. I'm more a believer in that the sky above us is more flat than a dome, and that we see within our personal atmospheric dome. Okay. That is called, it's a little more complicated. It's our azimuthal grid of vision. We can only see a certain distance in all directions. Okay. We can only see a certain distance in all directions. And that creates a dome, right? We can see left, right, up, down, and you connect all those points. It creates a dome of vision. And that's kind of how we see. So is there a hard, fast barrier? I think there is. I just think it's more expansive than short, keeping us here. I think that there are more lands out there. What's the configuration? I don't know. Okay. I think that biblically it talks about it. I mean, in page 1 of the Bible, God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament. Okay. Interesting. It's all interesting. Again, we want the right to go explore.
Yes, we do. We do. And the right to know the truth that has been withheld from us forever. You know, this has been an ongoing, 6,000-year-old Luciferian cult running the world. So we know that, I mean, I've come to know in my growing up and stuff like that, I've learned now, things I didn't pay attention to weren't real or weren't the truth.
Yeah.
And maybe, and so it's interesting. I didn't follow a lot of history in school, and now I know why. And the same with Earth, the Earth and the solar system. I remember a time I was doing a project for school, and I was very young. I was probably between 7 to 8, 9 years old. And I remember doing it and just the whole time hating it. Like I fought with my parents. I did not want to do it. And I honestly feel now that it was just against everything I knew and believed. And our belief system, what we come in with, we're so connected, but they turn all that off. They knock it down, they indoctrinate us, whatever they need to do to take that away. And our guts tell us if we pay attention. And, my gut has always told me that the earth was not round. So
They've got us to trade in our God-given common sense for complete and total nonsense. Okay. You want to see how strong the programming is? Go to a 10-year-old boy or girl and say, hey, earth is flat. Did you know that? They'll chop your head off. They will throw so many pre-programmed nonsense things at you. They'll absolutely freak out and get mad. I mean, you can talk about goblins with people. You can talk about all sorts of stuff. You mentioned flat earth, everyone gets angry. It's because of the spells that they've put on us. It's amazing. People are like, what about photos? Let me show you something. Here's photos of earth, right? I'm going to show you 3 photos. Okay. Three celebrities, right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So out of these celebrities, one of them is fake. One of them is a painting.
the center one.
Okay, so you say the center one's a painting. That by default, what does that mean about the other 2? What does it mean? If the
Exactly.
It means that those are real, right? By default, right?
By default.
Yeah, but we're told that planets are real. By the way, I lied. All of those were paintings. Okay, none of them were real, right? This isn't real. This is CGI Morgan Freeman, right? Look up AI Morgan Freeman. Watch this video. Okay, it's not real, but you can't tell. Okay, so this is a painting of. This is a painting. This is not a photograph. This is a painting. Now, sometimes I say to people, one object in this photo is not real, and people go, "Oh, they someone painted in the peach and did a really good job." No, the whole thing is a painting. Even the window, the reflections. This is just a painting. Okay, and then when you compare them to images of the Earth, which one's harder to paint? Well, they didn't have Photoshop back then, Dave. How did they do it? This is a painting. Okay, this is a painting. The blue marble. It's a painting. Right? It was on everyone's iPhone. They even admitted it was fake. So here's a question I now like to ask. Which one's real? Because they're all from NASA. All of them.
None of them are real.
All of them are from NASA, right? So that's how they do it. They give us false binaries. They're like, is this real or is this real? Which one's real, right? And then you're assuming, like, is the Earth a disk and the other planets around? No, neither's true. Neither. Okay. People are lazy. They're unwilling to use their God-given common sense because they're afraid of ridicule and they're lazy. Okay. You want to be rich? Invent something that makes people lazier. Really?
Exactly.
Think about it. Fast food. You don't have to shop. You don't have to cook. Now, what do they have? DoorDash. You don't even have to leave your couch to get your fast food. Okay.
Nope.
Right? Crazy. The world
can't even pick up the telephone anymore. You just hold your phone and do it. It's so convenient.
Yeah. You don't even have you could voice order it. It's crazy.
Yes, exactly.
So and then the fact that
you don't even
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You don't even have to your order is already there for you. If you ordered this before, would you like to reorder? I mean, how much easier can you make it?
Yeah. It's amazing. They love us. They want us to be happy. They want us to be comfortable. Okay.
Mm.
They don't want to sing the truth though, right? You can you Google anything flat earth and they're going to feed you the same videos on all of them. You're not going to find any of the videos that are on my app, right? On my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, I tell people every day there's a featured video here. If you think flat earth is stupid, watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you can come up with one globe proof, you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you waste my time, hit the question mark button, and up come the frequently asked questions. Well, what about the Coriolis effect? Why would they lie? What about tides? What about stars, right? And you click any one of these, up come a whole bunch of videos that YouTube won't let you see. They won't let you see them unless you know the channel and the exact name and search for them. But if you search, anything flat earth, they're going to give you all of the same propaganda. And half of that propaganda is waking people up anyway. People are like, wait a minute, this is really stupid. This Professor Dave guy is an idiot. Why is he acting like that? And then they email me and then I send them some good stuff and they're like, wow, I thought this was stupid. So the app does it bypasses Google's algorithm and it helps you understand where you live. And then people are like, oh, flat earth is dying. No. The Google algorithm has made it look like the search term for flat earth is dying. When the search term for flat earth in 2017 was the number one search term in all of the internet, right? When you used to search on YouTube, I don't know if you remember this, you search Bigfoot and it says, oh, there's 385,000 results. Okay. Yeah. Right. Now you search. So we're searching flat earth and it was coming up back then. President Trump was the biggest search term. And as soon as literally the day it passed President Trump, the term flat earth, they took down the scoreboard. There's no longer a result telling you, yeah, the scoreboard got taken down as soon as flat earth hit first place. These are the people that have my app right here on the East Coast. I mean, it's worldwide. And using the app, you can see people and you can message them. I can click on somebody. I can look at their profile. I can send them a message. I can send out group messages. I can gather people. People are using this as a friend finder, as a significant other finder, as for jobs. Right? Flat earthers only want to hire other flat earthers, and flat earthers only want to work for other flat earthers. Okay, so they used to say to us, "Oh, you're a flat earther. Good luck getting a job." It's the other way around now. It's all switching. Okay, so I highly recommend the app. It's only $3. Right? There is a subscription if you want to be able to do the messaging and stuff, which is $11 a year. Okay, but for those of you, excuse me, that don't want to spend the $11 a year, you can hit this button right here. And this is your referral area. You can create your own custom referral code. Excuse me. And then if you get 11 or more, you can trade them in for the subscription. So I make it really easy. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So super fun.
And so where do they go to find your app?
The app it's a long name. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. But on Google, there's already an anti-flat earther guys that were trying to copy me and feed you bad information. Google won't remove it. So the easiest way to do it, just make sure it's by Blue Water Bay. But the easiest way, go to flatearthdave.com. Everything I have there. You want to book me for a show? You want to see the crash course, which is free? You want to check out our events? You want to get the app? It's all at flatearthdave.com. Speaking of events, in October, anyone that's near Las Vegas or willing to go to Las Vegas, October 21st and 22nd, that weekend, whatever that weekend is, international conference, people coming from all across the plane to Las Vegas. It's going to be an amazing, amazing event. It's called Flattoberfest, and you can find that link right on flatearthdave.com.
Nice. That sounds very interesting. That might be something I have to explore because I would love to get out there with some of the people that's got this like-mindedness.
Even if you're not a flat earther, it's a bunch of truthers, people that are truth. But here's the problem. Do not go to Flattoberfest if you want to return home being a globe believer, okay? Because it's scientifically impossible to go there and not realize we don't live on a globe, okay? So
that's awesome.
forewarning. Like, hey, honey, I'm going to go out. My buddies, we're going to go to this conference, this Truther conference, and then you got to come home, honey. I got some bad news. What did you do? Oh, I'm a flat earther. Okay, the Earth is flat, and now we have to deal with it. So now you have to go convert them. So I'm telling you, careful, careful with this stuff, because if you play with it, you become a flat earther.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
it's
what
addictive.
happened. I
And
mean,
it's addictive.
it is addictive. And I think I found you, gosh, 2020, late 2020, early 2021, and started delving into it. And it definitely changed my thoughts on all of it. I always had doubts, always. But
Right.
this, I never researched it, never delved into it, but found this and like, whoa, yeah, okay, this is what I've been looking for. This is some of the facts. And truths that we need to know, the world needs to know. And it's interesting because when I hadn't even really got started yet, you hit me up to do an interview on my show. And I'm like, give me a little bit. We're getting going. We'll get you on there because you were one of the first on my list. And that just shows you how we manifest things.
Yeah.
You intrigued me so much and made me a believer in the flat earth, and so have others. There's others that are hitting on it now that explain it and get it out there, but to me, you were the first, and so that's where my loyalties lie, why I wanted to have you on the show. And what I'd like to do in the near future, if you'd like to, is maybe have you back and do it live and have it where the viewers can ask questions and all if they
Yeah,
want
I love
to.
that. I love, here's the thing. We have, in our flat earth community, our realm of all our flat earthers, we have tons of shows, and we go on these shows and it's just flat earthers in there with a couple random people occasionally. So I call that preaching to the choir, and preaching to the choir is actually necessary because we all learn from each other. Like a lot of the stuff I'm doing comes from followers and other shows that I watch, and I'm just compiling and I'm putting in my own thoughts too. My YouTube channel has all short videos. If you're like unsure or want a good place for great content, all my videos are under 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, right? They're all short videos, and I have hundreds and hundreds of them there. Just start there, DITRH. It stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, just DITRH. But if you don't spell it right, you're not going to find it because Google doesn't want you seeing it. It's my channel. I have 97,000 or 98,000 subs, and it just won't change. Okay. So if 2,000 of you subscribe, it's still going to be a 98,000 because it's been there forever. Okay. It's slowly creeping up because I keep calling them out. I think when you call them out, they're like, oh, let's give him a few more subs so he doesn't freak out. So check these things out. And I love coming on shows where people don't know the earth is flat. I don't care what size show it is, because then you wake up those people and they wake up other people, and it literally is viral. It's the only real virus out there is the truth. Because the truth is, our highest purpose in life is to seek maximum intellect. And this is it. Once you see this world, the word boredom, eliminate it from your dictionary. It doesn't exist. Have you been bored since you found the flat earth ever for a second? Never. It's
Not
impossible. It's scientifically impossible to be bored when you know the earth is flat.
It's scientifically, it's hard to be bored when you realized how indoctrinated and brainwashed and spellbound we have been made our whole lives and our generations before us, and hopefully not the generations to come, because we are changing that one by one. The collective consciousness is kicking in and people are coming into realizations. And a couple of my close friends do not believe in flat earth, but I'm like, you got to watch this video. It'll be out on Sunday at 11 o'clock.
So when you have people like that, the thing is, you can lead a man to knowledge, but you can't make him think, but you can make them drink. But that's a whole nother thing. So if someone's willing to watch something, start off with some of my short videos, right? Because if you're not interested in a topic, you're not going to watch a 2-hour video on it. Okay. But as long as they say, watch this 3-minute video, then you're like, oh, that's interesting. And then they'll watch a 5-minute video. Then they'll watch a 7-minute video. Then they'll watch a 2-hour video. Okay. So in the web button section, if you scroll down right here, FE video movies, there's great stuff in here. Just go through those movies, turn off Netflix, and watch this with the family, wife and kids, a husband, whatever, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Have a movie night. Watch it. Watch these videos. They're well done, mind blowing, and it's also scientifically impossible to watch several of these and not realize we don't live on a globe. That's one thing. Another section is giant trees. Have you looked into the giant trees?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
Lordy, Lordy, Lord.
I
Bring
need to
food
check
and
that out.
water. Bring food and water if you click this button. Okay. Bring food and water. Because you're talking about our history is a total lie. There was advanced civilizations here before us, and there was some sort of reset. Not sure what it was. Maybe it's a mud flood. Maybe it was Noah's flood. I don't know. Okay. But there's not speculation. It's absolute proof. And if you click the homeschool button, which is the little house, um,
Hmm.
there's some amazing stuff here. And one I want to recommend is this guy right here. It's called his Instagram is I'm the Improbable Dreamer, all one word. Watch his videos. It's also on the app if you forget it. At just click it and you'll see his stuff. Mind blowing. Now he's not making claims. This is what happened. This is what happened. He's like, look at this. This is impossible. This, and when you see it, you'll be like your curiosity. Like if I didn't have to sleep, that I could research more. Okay. But I do need 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. All right. But while I'm sleeping, I'm literally researching in my head. I'm listening to something. It's crazy. It's crazy because the thirst, once you understand that the knowledge is there, we're taught that everything's been discovered, Truman. There's nothing else to discover, right? We're taught that there's nothing else to discover. And, except outer space, Mars. There was just an article. They, and but by the way, lots of other stuff here. This guy, my lunch break, awesome. Short stuff about buildings that are all over the world that just make no sense, and the official stories are laughable. This is hysterical. All sorts of stuff on here. Greatest podcast ever, Crow 777 Radio. Better than college, and it's only $8 a month. Okay. Where was I going with that? There's just so much information. I had a point, but I lost it. But that's all right. We'll come back.
That's okay. Well, I think we're about at the end of this. So I just want to give you a big thanks. And is there anything else you'd like to share with the viewers today that is pertinent or they need to know or you'd like to get out there?
Sure. So there's you shouldn't believe anything I say. You should verify it yourself because this is how we got into this problem in the first place because everyone just believes everything they're told by authority. Okay. And everyone gives away their rights and therefore they're expecting the government to give them rights when the truth is you have all the power. Right. And when we all wake up to this truth, that's the only time that's when we'll get our freedom back because we literally are slaves in their system. So, if you know of a podcast, if you have a podcast that wants to have this conversation, go to flatearthdave.com, click book Dave, and let's start the conversation. Send me links, show me the podcast you're talking about, give me a little bit of background. Don't just say, I want to interview you. Who are you? I need to know. Okay. So send that. There's also the crash course there. The app is there. If you want to get the app, it's $3. Great. I appreciate it if you survive because the app costs a lot of money to run and the subscription's what it keeps it running. It's only $11 a year. It's like buying somebody a margarita. Okay. Just think that you're buying me a margarita once a year. Okay. And what else? And check out Flattoberfest in October. Flat Earther or not, want to meet the most amazing people. There's going to be, I don't know how many people are going to be. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for sure. And it's in Las Vegas in October. And all of that's findable at flatearthdave.com. Woo.
Awesome, Dave. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your information and all you brought to the show today. And we look forward to having you back in the near future. So,
all right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Denise.
The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. See how the wind patterns only make sense over a flat Earth. Watch the sun, moon, and stars circle in the sky clock. A real compass that unlocks the truth of our world. See what time it is anywhere in the world. Playlists in many different languages. Play the Flat Earth trivia game with your globe, friends, and your Flat Earth friends. A great tool for homeschooling children and adults. Coming soon, increase your concentration with our tile memory game. Play by yourself, with others locally, or connect with others and play remotely. Browse our selection of Flat Earth books for kids and adults. Check out our Flat Earther approved shopping area. New products and services are being added all the time. Our homeschooling section is better than anything you'll learn in the overpriced indoctrination camps. Our More Resources page has all kinds of flat earth resources and other related deep rabbit holes to dive down. But don't worry, you can't go deeper than 7.5 miles. Our most popular page is the Frequently Asked Questions page to answer all of your flat earth questions. Our Images and Meme page is an excellent resource at your fingertips when you're talking to your globe friends and need to show them how absolutely ridiculous their model is. Our daily video archive page gives you quick access to all of the best flat earth videos. Click the total blue dot counter to get a worldwide view of all of the app users using the Friend Finder. From the USA to the UK, we are everywhere. Coming soon, our new profile social media module. Connect with others, create social groups, and make those personal and professional connections with the most amazing people. When sharing the app, remember to use your customized referral code and get yourself on the leaderboard. Join groups in the chat module and start group video calls. You never know who you will meet. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, connecting blue dots across the plane.